I don't know what it is about African teams. Whenever we get to these big tournaments, it's like we can never believe that we deserve to be here, and this is the shit we dish up. Like Senegal today. The game's been done for a few hours now, but I am fuming, man. Like, I genuinely... Like, is this the same Senegal team that won the AFCON? Is this the same Senegal team which pillaged through teams and then got to the final? Were even the better team, to be honest, despite all the controversy. They thoroughly outplayed Morocco, created more chances, even though it was only 1-0 at the end. You know, a couple of dubious calls or whatnot. But there is no way this is the same team that won the AFCON that turned up here. Because against France, you know, you can give them a, not a pass, but it's like, okay, yeah, whatever, you're playing France, who score goals for fun, you know. They could be playing 20% of their capacity, and then they'll come around, bang 3 quick ones, and before you know it, you've lost 3-1. So, you know, so you can, you know, give them grace for that loss. But here today against Norway, and I don't know anyone on this Norway team except for Haaland, Bob, and Nusa. That's it. Not even gonna act like I know anyone. That's all I know. But the way that these goals were conceded, man. The game started off like no one was really creating anything in the first 20 minutes. Then Senegal looked like they were able to control the ball a bit more. And then Norway, you know, they're very solid defensively. And then you get and then the first goal. What's that dude's name? Koulibaly. This guy, I think he's played one tournament too long. Because what was that? That was a rookie mistake. You know, that's the type of mistake that an AFCON team like Togo or Benin or something like that would make. Not a team that's got players who've played in Europe in the best leagues and who still play in Europe. You know, so that mistake by Koulibaly was just... And that's damn near worse than what Adingra pulled against Germany. Instead of just booting the ball out of there, I don't know, who were you even passing it to? Were you passing it to your teammate? Were you expecting someone to run on? Like, what was your thought process? And, you know, credit to Norway, man. They're clinical. That dude, I don't know who he is, bangs it home, you know? And shout out to Mendy, honestly, man. This guy was stopping lots of goals, like, up until that point. He'd stopped 2 clear opportunities. That Senegal defense, man. There's no way this Senegalese defense was the same one that was just holding up the title 4 months ago. Or the one that was in Ivory Coast. Or the one 4 years ago when they beat Egypt. And honestly, you can blame the coach as well. Because Koulibaly has not played at a high level in some time. He was suspended for the AFCON final. Sarr fills in, plays admirably. He should have kept his spot. Koulibaly's old now, man. Like, very old. He's not very old, he's 35, 36, but still, you know? And then the second half, you're already 1-0 down, you need to win, you go and concede a goal within 2 minutes, you know, you're serving up the ball on a silver platter for Haaland. We're lucky this dude didn't have 3 or 4, the chances Senegal was giving him. Defense opening up, like, it's like, well, I'm lost for words, man. And then you got the front line. So wasteful, so useless. You know, just Sarr, like, this, he had 2 goals at the end, so we can overlook that. But Nicholas Jackson, what do you actually do? How is this dude in finding himself at these top teams? Because when he was at Chelsea, rubbish. Got him from, where did they even get him from? Villarreal or wherever. Trash. Goes to Bayern. Not good enough. How is this guy getting into these top teams? Because he is rubbish. Mane's past it, you know. He even, I don't even think he's going to be at the next AFCON. So it's also on the coach, you know. You got to start integrating the next generation, like Mbappe and Sharif Ndiaye and what's the other dude's name? Iliman Ndiaye. Why was he not playing? Like, why is he on the bench? You see how creative he is. You saw how creative he was at the AFCON. Why is he not playing? You know? And then the midfield. Pape Gueye. What happened to this dude's level in 4 months? In 4 months, this guy, you know, went from being arguably the best midfielder at the AFCON to being a scrub. And when you're playing with 2 holding midfielders, like, you're pretty much playing with 3 holding midfielders. Who's going to go forward? Who's going to create chances? Who's going to, you know, break lines? You got no one. No one to do that. You know, you look at the other African teams like Ivory Coast, in Norway, the young fella, he can do that for you because there's balance there. And then out wide on the wings, Diomande, Diallo, Senegal, man, they need to take a good hard look at themselves because this is just rubbish. And they're you know, hypothetically speaking, they're out of it now because playing Iraq, you need to go smack them 5-6-0 because you've already got a negative goal difference, you know, so you need to build that up and then hope some other results go your way. So just shameful, man. Shameful. Especially when you're a top 2, top 3 African team on paper. To come and dish that out, rubbish.